Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron for Millennium Dawn with me, Alpha Biomega, and Ukraine. So, even today we are going to continue with the military reform and boost, because who knows what's going to happen with Russia? Who knows what's going to happen with Russia? Now I'm going to unpause the game immediately so that we have things happening, but there are two things that I wanted to mention. Now, we're still operating on the old doctrine of 4 armies, and at this point we haven't really added anything to the fray. Mostly because we are, short on most of the things, so I'm not entirely comfortable with just throwing more units to the training and even deepening the wide cut that we are feeling from the things that we're missing. But on the other hand, there are still quite a lot of things that we could do that would not put that much strain on us. Now, if you look at the logistics, we still do have a ton of tanks, even though those are awful old tanks. We do have a lot of self-propelled artillery, and we even have quite a lot of the AA and now even the ATGMs and everything, and we are soon going to have enough of small arms. Now, where we really are at a huge pain is the production of the command equipment, which needs to be prioritized. So therefore I'm going to lower this, and the next two military factories are just going to go to that after the mounted ATGM, of course, but we definitely need more production here. And then eventually on our small arms, because the usual units that we're gonna use will still be leg infantry, because those are very good. If you remember, our Precordoni Zagin is pretty good, has a high defense, very nice hard attack and soft attack, so it's an overall good unit, and it's very cheap. It just really costs small arms, so we're still gonna train a couple of those. Now I also want to, and I changed my mind on this, I want to use these Zenitny Raketny Polk, and these guys are going to look like this. I actually made a decision already how we're going to use them, and they are going to be like this. That's going to be the next unit that we are going to reform. We'll have you, and let's have the... Actually, no, I wanted to have the heavy engineers here as well. And with the self-propelled artillery here, we'll have a tank company to help heavy mechanized recon and engineer. So this is going to be a heavily fortified unit in most cases. And it's going to have huge defensive and offensive bonuses in many places, especially things like cities where we could just put them and hope for the best. They will utilize mostly self-propelled artillery, of which we have tons, so that's going to make them pretty good. And they will also use some of the tanks, so pretty good there as well. And they will have some recon, which we can use definitely. Unfortunately, they're going to cost as much as an entire doctrine, so that's going to take us a while before we can get it. And Somalia has finished the civil war. Okay, so Somalia is now unified. And believe it or not, Eritrea is making gains still. That is amazing. That is amazing. Non-aligned emerging. People's Front for Democracy and Justice. Ethiopian Somali People's Democratic Party. Reactionaries. I'd really be kind of happy if we could support Ethiopia in their combat, because they are one of the nations that I have utmost respect for. So even though Ethiopia today is struggling with more than one problem, but it's one of the more interesting countries in Africa that actually has a potential, and we could even call it a local power in the scope of the area, bordering Somalia, Eritrea, Somaliland, Puntland, Djibouti. They definitely don't have much to go with, and yet they prevail. So that is amazing and deserves quite a lot of respect. Now, what about you guys? Can we get something here? When can we Still can't lease the infrastructure here. We could court local leaders if it came to it. We do have the stability of the regime for that, but I think I'm gonna go... Well, we could do it. How far are we with the farmers? 85? Wow. Equitable population. Oligarchs are also becoming pretty handy. International bankers are fine as well. So can I now lease... Yes, industrial complexes. We're gonna use though... And we finished another factory. Look at that. We have 2 overlaps and 15 working on our military factory. Good riddance. Good riddance. So with that said, it's gonna take a while before we see the next military factory. 21st of September. So about half a year before we see that in effect. Now what could we do? We're pretty much doing everything here. Semi-consumptional economy. Semi-consumption mixed economy. Tax cost free resources to market plus 50%. Yeah, that would be pretty good, but I don't think we'll do that at this point. And hey, we finished our second destroyer. Nice. Pride of Crimea. So we can add you here. And what are we going to name you though? We have one, it's called Spite of Putin. And actually, yeah, let's call you Crimea is Ukraine. These ships will not be very popular with our neighbors, but I don't really care. We used most of the fuel. Actually, I might start throwing some biofuel refineries into there. Yeah, Somalian civil war is over. The transitional national government of Somalia, the interim government set by the UN, has managed to calm down and quell separatists and opposers in the south of the country. This victory will surely bring stability. So we might want to build a couple here and there. Actually, let's put them to the east, all of them, because they are going to help us. So Ministry of Infrastructure. Get anything here? Oh, it just gives us extra speed. Oh, and you would be good. Okay. Extra infrastructure in Ismail, extra infrastructure in Odessa and Zaporozhye. Okay. So, Minister of Infrastructure. The Ministry of Infrastructure has taken some flack. Ukraine's infrastructure is collapsing due to corrupt officials in the ministry siphoning funds. People are unable to drive on some roads due to conditions. It is time to redraw the ministry in hopes of better future for our industries. Hyperloop project. Opinion changed by 5 of opinion. 35 billion though. It's crazy. Well, let's start investing into this infrastructure thing. And eventually we might even go ahead and start doing stuff. It's not that expensive, 7,500, but I still don't think we are there at this point. So let's not do it at this point. We do have a lot of Navy experience here, so what do we do with it? Well, attack submarines. Helicopter. We could build the carrier Kuznetsov class. That's interesting. That would be really funny, but no. Let's build one more Pride of Crimea. It's gonna take a while to build it, but we'll add it to the fray. Someone asked me actually what kind of usage the fleet could have against Russia. Well, the fact is Russia probably has a large navy. I don't know, I haven't really played Russia at all. But I don't think their Baltic fleet is that big. So if they have some in the Northern Sea and in St. Petersburg ports, then cool, but before they actually manage to reach here, if they even can do that, I don't know about the range, we might control this area and provide some support to our own units from the sea. Even if that just means that we would draw some attention from the Air Force, because our ships are actually well equipped to handle the enemy Air Force. So yeah, I don't know. The answer is I don't know. There might be a lot we can do with it. There might not be. We'll just have to see. I guess that the orders here will be the same as in core game. So there can be strike force, convoy raiding. Yeah, we could raid the convoys, pretty much cutting off, for example, Crimea. If there is possibility, they can probably transport there. Convoy escort. We could support a naval invasion to Crimea. We could patrol. So if it's just taking the Black Sea under our control, it will definitely help us. Preventing them from doing whatever they want to do, and that's enough for me. If we can prevent Russia from doing something, and it's not like these dockyards cost us anything. They're basically at our disposal at this point, so we can just use them and do some good. We can do extra support campaigns, and we can also court local leaders. So let's do both. That's gonna give us an additional bonus. 525,000 in manpower. That's good. What about the production? Okay, so we got 1,206 utility vehicles that we need to build, but we're getting to almost a point of 1 per day. That's good. 1,112 APCs need to be upgraded, but we're working at full capacity there. We have 883 IFVs to build, 1,785 small arms, 2,000 C4 equipments. Awesome. So that means right about now we're sub 2,000. That's good. We started somewhere near 3,000, so I'm happy about that. We're upgrading the ATGMs and the manpads at a rate of 2.20 per day and 1.10 per day, which means that our infantry units will have enough equipment to face the enemy tanks and the enemy aircraft. So that's actually pretty good. Stockpiling those is always a good idea. So happy with the military production. And I think our next step is actually going to be lowering the interventionism to regional interventionism, or increasing it depending on what you want to say. Russia attacks our independence from foreign influence. Well, they can keep doing that. We have our own plans. So regional interventionism might actually be enough for us to start supporting Ethiopia and Syria with weapons. We will not be able to directly get ourselves involved, but just in we know the plight of the fight for freedom. We lost something that was dear to us. We're gonna get it back, but in the meantime, we can support those that are in such a fight and make sure that they get what is needed. Which actually reminds me that one thing or one component that we are missing in our navy is a ship that would be dedicated to hunting submarines. So could we use something like you here? Light flight decks. That would give us a... Wait, is this a... Yeah, it's a helicopter operator. If we added helipads... You guys actually get confused a bit about that last time. Now, light flight deck give you a capacity, so you can put aircraft there, but the helipads themselves give you a huge amount of bonuses, like light attack, light piercing, but sub-detection. And it's something that I'm interested in. If I wanted to build a ship like this, we could get a sub-detection of 124. I'm not sure how good you guys are in sub-detecting. 20, and our frigates have 66. and you got 79. So actually we could make more foreigners. We could make the helicopter operator focus on submarines. Anti-submarine missile. Anti-submarine missile. So we would have anti-submarine 90. So that's already way better than what we had before. And it's actually pretty damn good. Subdetection and anti-submarines. Investment offer from Germany. Yes, please. Investment offer from Russia. No, thank you. Now, do you help with... Yeah, you help with subdetection. Okay, analog fire control. We still have some light attack and early reactor. Though this is a bit of a problem because that is a very... Oh, it's a hunter-killer though. It's a hunter-killer going straight after submarines. They have no capacity to fight anyone. Well, you know, a bit from the helipads, but it is amazing as far as hunting submarines go. 117 bonus, so 143. That's compared to our destroyers. Those have subdetection of 79, so we are much better, and anti-submarine warfare of 34, while you have 150. You guys are good at fighting heavy attack, heavy piercing, light attack, and light piercing. And I believe that the frigates are anti-air. Yeah, so we get anti-air, anti-ship. You are also anti-ship. So you would be anti-submarine. The production cost though is steep. That's okay, but we can call it. We can make this at least, and we can call it. What would we call it? Kherson class. Kherson class, and we can build one of these to make our navy able to. So you cost how much? 10,000, and you cost double that. Yeah, but it's gonna add our navy with hunter-killer abilities as far as submarines go. And if there are some submarines here, this ship will find them, and this ship will kill them. So that's something that we can utilize. Okay, our interest rate is 2.8%, and we have officially dropped below 40% GDP of debt. So if that isn't economy going, then I don't know what is. Okay, utility vehicles. Let's check our armies again, see how they're doing. You're still missing the mounted ATGMs. That's what is taking you down the most, because you need a lot of those. But hey, we're getting... Actually, we stole some ATGMs from Novorossiya, so that's good. Yeah, even some of the command equipment. Well, you know, if it works, just do it. Just do it. But we definitely need some more equipment. You guys don't need anything apart from the utility vehicles. Oh, you're actually fully equipped? Yeah, you missed just 2 utility vehicles, but you're okay otherwise. Nice. What about you? Same story? Okay. Wouldn't expect that the utility vehicles is what's gonna take you down, but hell, here we are. What? No! What did I do? What did I do? I took away the production and I... What? How did I do that? Oh, that's not what I wanted. What the hell happened here? What the... Where's that other factory? Here. Yeah, okay, we don't want the mounted ATGMs. You're going to the man pads, but what the hell happened there? That was a weird glitch, or maybe I did it and I don't know how. But, wow, thank God that the game did not forget what we had there. Okay, good. Don't play with something you don't want to break, Alpha. Don't play with something you don't want to break. But yeah, more factories will be needed to properly do these things, and we'll need someone for the tanks as well. Though those are just upgrades. 640. Hey! DNA fingerprinting. Nice. What's next? Modern GMOs. A genetically modified organism is a genetically altered organism which can be used in many different fields. For example, crops, cattle, science, and many other forms of cultivation. Now, as we're approaching 2010, I think we might want to go with the fuel refining, getting extra fuel per oil. This one helps with biofuel. So that is good. That's going to boost our overall fuel income. So I believe we're going to have 16 fuel then. And you would give 20% to that. So that would be 800. Yeah, almost 1,000 extra fuel. So let's get fuel refining 1. The improved biofuel refining will be done soon. I actually want to use the tank designs, even though they're primitive in this mod, to get better tanks, because Ukraine has their own program with the T90s, and they had a couple of good models, so I want to get them in the game and make those known. So the MBT 2015 is going to be known as T90 for us, and then the 2025 we might call it T91. These are pretty damn good. Breakthrough 27. It's not that good, but the piercing is getting insane. 68. Wow. Wow, that's heavy. But yeah. No, I wasn't speaking much about the armies. I started it at a certain point and I haven't made myself clear. We're gonna split our armies into more organization blocks, meaning we will need additional leaders, and we will need them to be ready and able to lead our units. I'll need some pretty darn complex organization, at least 2 extra fast-moving armies that are gonna work here, and another one that is going to lead the attack on Crimea. So that's something that we will need to look into. So summer investments are done. Oh, we actually finished, okay, getting extra infrastructure in Zakarpattia. This would give us additional infrastructure in Ismail, but I think we want this one, extra infrastructure in Odessa and Zaporozhye. Because what kind of... Over Dnipro has 2 out of 5. Damn, they changed... I missed that. They changed the maximum level of... Interesting. Interesting. Okay, but that makes everything a bit more interesting. Kavisha Volhynia would also be a good candidate. So let's keep it civil, but we'll look into getting extra infrastructure down the line at a certain point for sure. Yeah, we're still not there, but I plan to start importing goods soon. I thought we would get rid of these. Sabotage. Okay. Thankfully, we no longer really suffer from this. Yeah, it's gonna be quick. 21st of The construction is helping. Look at that. Construction. Fast growth, free universal quality education, network infrastructure, civilian industrial project. Damn. Okay. So these are quick. Quick as hell. Radar stations. I can envision building these also along the border so that we have... Do they work? Yeah, they give better chance to our aircraft at engaging the enemies. Strategic fuel reserves would be good too. Network infrastructure improves local construction speed. Yeah, that is something that I think would also be pretty good. It's also cheap. Well, actually it might be good to throw it in the mix. Now we have extra... Oh, come on, game. Now we have extra time due to the fact that our production is maxed out. So this is gonna help. So let's put them out. We're gonna build one in here, one in here, one in here. And there's still a ton of extra production of. And I wonder, do these give us an extra bonus on seeing what these units are there? Motor Rifle Division. Damn, that is a complex unit. Artillery Brigade, 5 artillery brigades. Damn, these are huge. These are huge. Spetsnaz Brigade. It just has infantry. Okay, we don't know what this one has. Tank Division. Oh, you know, the fact that they don't put that many units on the border is actually a pretty good chance for us to strike them quickly and heavily if need comes to be. Now again, we're speaking hypothetically here, but who knows what's gonna change down the line. Support campaign is gonna be done soon, which is good. I like that we have 100% stability despite having many setbacks. PRU is getting more and more popular. Ship company, submarine company, helicopter company, not that interest. All carrier research. Helicopter operator, though, that would help us definitely. Surface visibility. Naval ship research. All carrier research speed. But this one might be better. Max range surface visibility. Oh! Ethiopia gains Chinese military assistance. After a prolonged rivalry between American and Chinese armament companies to supply the Ethiopian military, the Ethiopian government has granted massive liberties to the Chinese corporations and has signed several military economic treaties with the People's Republic of China. Well, that's not good news. That is not good news. But hey, look at that. Our small arms are getting fulfilled nearly. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. 15. Yeah, we're back to building, and we lost the benefit of the extra industrial projects. What is this? I haven't actually... Oh, it's economic decisions, okay. Interest rate higher than 10% will give us access to emergency decisions. After the interest rises above 15%, our economy will begin to slow down and we will suffer from other adverse effects. At this point, we will have the ability to default on our debt at a great cost. Once the interest goes above 20%, we won't be able to manually take more debt. If our interest on debt exceeds our gross income, our nation will collapse. Well, that is not going to happen to us at all. We are fine with that. With that said, we might actually get the regional interventionism in a couple of days, which would be a good ending point for this episode, I'm pretty sure. Look at what you did, Russia. You are throwing us deeper and deeper into the arms of your enemies, where we will find ways how to hurt you, even if you don't think that's gonna happen. Okay, these industrial capacities. Oh, Italian trade investments. An Italian trade delegation has arrived to our capital. Okay, trade relations, political power. It's pretty good, and I can turn this extra into regional interventionism. It is important that the areas close to home are kept in order, and we must use the threat of war to keep that order. However, turning out to be fairly adventurous at this point. And we finished the improved biofuel refinery. Or refining, actually. Provides a stable +2, which means, yeah, we got extra 2 fuel from that. The next one is cheaper. That's kind of interesting that it gets easier as you go. So as it's 2008, there's not much here that we could do. 2010 still a bit ahead of time. That 3% would be nice, but not entirely sold on that. I could use... No, we're gonna reform that unit first before we do anything else. So actually you can go for the industrial biofuel processing, because we want to actually increase the fuel gain. Speaking of which, considering most of our units, we will need to get quite a lot of training done to keep them in order. So 57 points here. So let's see how well we can reform these units at this point. 40, 45, 50. Heavy engineering, it would be 55, and all of these are too expensive. But this is a good starting point. Combat with would be 30. You would get all of the self-propelled artillery you need, and we are going to add additional units as we go. So Zenitny Raketny Polk is going to be spread out, which immediately increased our CNC equipment need. It actually distributed some of the self-propelled artillery. Okay, and utility vehicles have grown dramatically. That's not the effect that I was expecting. But let's look at them. I think we got a couple of them here. Medpads, ATGMs. Yeah, they're missing small arms and utility vehicles. But the self-propelled artillery is there. Wow! That is so far away from what the game claimed your stats are going to be. I don't even know where to start, but yeah, the command equipment is just horrendous. 1800, 1100, yeah. Okay, so these were the distributed costs. So the utility vehicles, we're working on those. We're definitely gonna get over 1 per day. The extra factor is gonna start working on these. How expensive are they? 5. You cost... Is there anything that costs 1? 1.57. So we're producing 2.5 per day. So we're gonna get to about 1 per day. 800. Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. So anyway, we finished the UZ, which is the name of the state-owned company that currently possesses a massive monopoly on the majority of the Ukrainian railroad transportation within the country. The company boasts an impressive combined total track length of 23,000 kilometers worth of track, marking it as the 13th largest in the world. It is also the 6th largest rail passenger transporter and 7th largest freight transporter. I would still expect this to work with the railways rather than anything else, but what can you do? Now let's go with the grants for high-speed trains. That's going to be the next thing we're going to go with. And I guess I'm going to end the episode here. We're pretty darn good as far as everything is concerned. We have 30 civilian factories, 8 military factories, though that's going to be our focus in the upcoming days. You can see that, we're sort of mixing it up, making sure that our economy keeps growing, but that we get more equipment to our units. And we're actually making the army stronger and stronger. Our fielded army is 242,000, pretty much rivaling the size of Ukraine's current army, and free manpower is 519k. Well, not bad. Could be worse. And recruitable population grows by 1.87,000 every month, which is amazing. So, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode.